That's in. Sorry. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving. There's been a few steps. Really good question for everybody to ready. Does anybody have an available ticket for an opening today? Me. Oh, well, I guess that's the now. What's wrong with me? Yes. But there's usually not a lot of people to get excited about, and I'm very excited about the opening of the Obama 3rd of July. Anybody else in there? For over and survived when I was talking and talking about it, she got a computer and somebody told her to take it to the playground and said, yeah, I'm going to go take my 6-year-old out, but he won't go. That's fun. It also gave me an opportunity to talk about her. She got some things, single bands. I'm like, great. Because we heard, on something. And she talked about she had her show enrolled in the program. It's felt that what they're doing, everything that you need to like, that's okay. It's putting up watching out for you. She's like, thank you. Literally, the rest of the project talked about her minded an early learning program. Her 3-year-old thinks she was just at the yard ready. Right? Is to take every opportunity to talk to everybody that's here in town, and anybody that's a child. I'm on the playground with my 10-year-old grandson, and I see some 3-year-old and some parents. Well, then I run behind the 3-year-olds. But I'm not taking over the program. So how are we today? Vincent, how are we today? All right, all right. We are looking at the end of another program here, right? Relax. But everything else that happened during my book is celebrated so but with everything that's happened in our nation that could have derailed and disrupted everything that you're here to do, it didn't happen. And so with that, it was so around with fun. We're not past everything yet. We're not over the hump completely, but we're still people. So we meet that challenges head on. Every time there was something that came out, there were people who advocated, who went to DC. The Head Start Association spent a lot of time in DC advocating. National Head Start Association and others to try to make sure that everybody understood the implications sometimes pulling the plug on something as valuable as early learning. If we all understood it, learned it, and coded, right? What did our government in Illinois and the nation figure out when we shut down? And then they wanted people to go back to work. What did they need? Places for people's children to go. So at that point, they decided the services are essential. So how do you now decide that the services that are essential to keep the United States open is something that's on anybody's chopping block? I'm amazed. But we're still working and we're still here, right? How many of you, and I talked about it last time, how many of you responded to the notice of rulemaking where they wanted to change the Head Start performance standards to take stuff out? Okay. So what they were looking at is looking at the Head Start performance standards. And remember, under the Biden administration, what they decided to do was to make a statement that individuals who work in this arena need what? Higher salaries. So even though it's an unfunded mandate, right? He did say in there, but did come out in the performance standards with the be if we have federal funds, which also implies that you have authority working in this field. You have to look at a way to make sure that you're constantly and steadily increasing wages, right? At the end of the day, this field that you think about has been lagging and lagging and lagging behind everyone else. They're required for bachelor's degree. Can you think of a thing? Would that be yours? Absolutely. So that notice of preferred or potential rulemaking rolls that back. Basically says, why are we talking about salaries? Because then you guys need to money into your programs. But missing the fact that if you can't pay the salaries, you don't have a program, right? And so every time you hear something, please respond. The number of voices make a difference. Because it looks like out there in the world, we're making a mistake. Look at how many people saying, no, wait. But if we don't get that, then they go, what in the room? I was making the right shit and people that didn't complain about it. So let's just move ahead with the new rules. And so please stay up on it. When you get something, read it. When you get it, and it says, please respond, please do so. It's stronger, it's we'll make it. Okay? So let's not get anything get past us. And so instead of every update, my update is here with you today and it's in line. Okay? But beyond that, we are at the end of the program here. We have enrolled children, we serve children, we work with families, and we've been the anchor in Chicago for another year. And I recognize that those of you who are serving out there in the community, you are the anchors in your community. Many parents will come to you before they go out and try to find what it is. They may not know about all the services in their community, but they know about you. And so they'll walk in your door, and once they develop that relationship, they'll let you know what else they need. And you have that vehicle, and you have them there, you have the ability to talk to them about where other resources are. And also the other resources that you have. How many of you also do food pantries? Anybody? Anybody? How many of you do any kind of giveaways in clothing, diapers, and all of those things? How many of you are referring your families to make sure that they get their medical needs met? How many of you have family support fed? All right. My point is, without you, many of our families will not be surviving and thriving. And that is beyond what you're doing to us. And so don't for a moment think about your value is not more than, it is plus and plus and plus. And we all recognize that we need to do everything we can to manage and sustain whatever is coming at us, whatever bomb is being thrown at us, so that we can stay here and be here with the children and families. It's critical. What you do is critical. And I can't thank each and every one of you enough for what you've done between 25 and 26, staying the course, keeping your door open, and continuing to work with children and families. On behalf of Mayor Johnson, I say thank you. Give yourselves a round of applause. I'm going to stop and give you guys an opportunity to ask me questions. So the teachers and so I had to feel my that with a whole lot of stuff to keep up and find out what's on your mind and how I want to be able to answer. Yes. Homework questions. So we are working on an pathway to get a vendor to do what we need to do. So we're working on two things. Number one, we're still trying to work to get after value metrics facts and stuff. But not to wait on that, we are working with another vendor to see whether or not they're able to do what we need. Because again, we recognize the need to get those background checks done. So we're working with fiscal at my department, downtown, everyone's on board, working to try to resolve as quickly as possible. So as soon as we have a resolve, be it Active Biometrics or the other organization, we'll be sending out information and let you know what access points you have. Okay, yes. The bottleneck with Active Biometrics is they don't have a contract. Let's see this. And with the one did. Yes. Let me not say the city, let me say Department of Family Support Services, for the service, but only has contract back with our methods, back on kids. The city has another vendor, and because the city has another vendor, they're talking to them to see whether or not they can do for us what we need. And if you piggyback on their contract, we will start on. Okay, we got to function it now, that's a smooth. Okay. Any other questions about that? Sorry. Okay, incredibly sorry that this is happening. But again, we have no contract authority and the vendors aren't getting paid. And how many of you have had a contract authority and we wouldn't get paid? What would we do? So I can't blame them. Okay, but we are doing everything we can. B has been working feverishly, going through emails and trying to answer questions and doing everything that she could from her end. And then we joining in and our contract team and everybody else, just trying to make sure that we resolve this. It has taken much longer than anticipated, but we are still trying to get some, we can open up the door and start reading that. Okay. The other question. Yes. Oh, good. Yes. So what we got back was after it wouldn't let you do it. Okay, after it has a contract with CPS, but we were the vendor or the side of it that was doing it. And if I'm wrong, and I know some go way off course, he just stand up and come take the site. They have a contract, right? And so there's no payment mechanism for you to do that. And so because it isn't there, what they said when people showing up, they said, no, I can't do that. Yes. That's okay. Because I know. It has been escalated. That's why we're working with the city of the time to find you a vendor. It has been escalated beyond our division. That's what I'm saying. We're working with all downtown Chicago to say to put the name with this. That's why they invented to figure out, is there a vendor with any other department that's doing background checks that might be able to do what we need here? And they did line up. They just we're already able to say this. I don't think you need to do that. If it gets to that point, I would send an email and I'm saying. But right now, that vendor has really come to the table to talk to us. They've looked at everything that we said we need, and they also have a roadblock, right? So what we're trying to do now is work this through the process so that we can now say we have a vendor who will be able to receive you to get your back. So you've gone all the way through, and it's been up there and everybody else. Then we're going to try to figure this out. So we do have a vendor that said yes, based on what the vendor provided, that they can do what we're asking them to do, because that was the critical piece of it. You might do background checks, but can you do what we're asking you to do? And they were able to say yes to that. Okay, so we're at that point now where it is jumping on their contract. There's a process you guys need to follow as a team behind that for us to be on their contract to be able to open up the workshop and this will working. Yes. Just it will satisfy the both sides. Yes. Looking at these, I was so she said that. That was my understanding. It will go. Any other questions? Yes. Good. Issuing a budget. Hold what people like this, for us to hold on one, right? Like give us some. It's certain budget conditions or which, should I want to answer that? They can voucher until the 26th. We're gonna get the allocation out budget revision. Is it too late for you to total budget? Is it? Yes, your question is, too late for her to do a budget revision. You can submit it and we'll look at it and respond. But we're gonna send out the allocation sheets on Monday. So if you want to just hold off, that'd be great. Thank you. That answered the question. The question was about budget revision on the medical side. And yes, they can be submitted, they will review, but they're going to be sending out. Okay, somebody's saying something different into that. Then y'all need to come up here. You got notes, I'm Joe. Okay, because I got. Okay, so these are pathetic. Yes. Okay, so, if y'all can see, we had an open discussion. What we will do, Sharon, Angel, we will have a conversation and we will send out an email to our federal funded entities regarding the outcome, whether or not they get the budget revisions. Today. Today. All right, look at your email. Today. I do it. And like that. Okay. Okay, so in the email, you'll get to say all your reasons for political clarity for everybody. So one of the things that I think I would say about Head Start, early Head Start Child Care Partnership. I mentioned it before, both of those grants have an extension on them to November 30th of 2026. They were ending June 30th. Office of Head Start with everything else that they're doing, including wanting to change the Head Start performance standards. We're not able to get everything in order to do a competitive grant. So instead of doing a competitive grant that should have affected grant cycle line, what they decided to do was extend any grant that was applying to Cincinnati status. They have extended our grant through November 30th of 2026. Okay, the federal grant, if I'm saying federal grant, Head Start, early Head Start, and early Head Start Child Care Partnership. Early Head Start expansion was not even impacted, but those two grants were. Okay. It's extension for the grants, yes, yes, yes. I understand, and I was trying to see if possibly when we could get it notice, but I got that was you. So with their patience, I'm gonna go ahead and send to you. Okay, because I need to come to your phone. Right now, the budget is down. The question is, will there be any additional funding going into PI, PFA, or the ECBG summit? Right now, in the governor's budget, there is no increase for ECBG for this budget year that was just approved. Yes, award letters. For which fund? I'm not doing questions for this, I'm on that. So, okay, first, yeah, and PFA. Yeah. Okay. So we're working through the process right now with Office of Budget and Management. So in fact, everything that we need to do in the system today, we generate those. We were on the phone yesterday with them, giving them what information and they needed in order for us to do anything. Because up today, I know we're finding governmental agreement with CPS. So they gave us instructions on what documentation that we have received from CPS to give them that. And they will look at it and see if that's something that can stand up. And if they say yes, then we'll be able to generate this for July. Anybody else? It's like what else is part of like anybody? Anybody? Okay. I'm still here. If there's any other questions that come up, then I might be able to stop this to. I'm going before I move. How many of you have heard the words play date? What's a play date?
A date where you play.
And who's the fun play? All right, so in April, Chicago launched its first ever Chicago largest play date in Maggie Daily Park. How many know of that? You didn't? You don't know this. So in April, we been during the weekend, we were looking at the aligning it with everything else that was going on with being a young child and all of that. So we did have a play date in downtown Chicago in Maggie Daily Park. Had over 1,000 people in Maggie Daily Park on that Saturday. We are doing our second play date on June 27th in Humboldt Park. And so those of you who are agencies in that area, if you see me before you leave, if you're serving in that community area here today, please see me before you leave today so we can talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing there. Okay. June 27th.
Saturday, June 27th.
Okay. So with that, I'm going to turn the mic over. Don't forget to see me if you serve in that area. Who's going program admin? Okay, so yes. I'll let Sheree go ahead and start. I think they're trying to get Angie back there.
In case you need to see it. So that's time. Hello.
Oh, yes. Hey.
There she go.
There's a fire piece in there.
Bringing next Wednesday, race. Next Friday on federal, we asking that all of the, starting people and already be athletics. We ask that. We ask that you all, send your finance people and anybody that kids and does your budget. This is. ECB budgets beginning July 1st cannot have unqualified staff on them. They cannot have 100% of anything charged to them that will be explained in the training. ECBG is supplemental funding to what's supposed to be your already base funding. Any agency must directly operate the site. It's not a pass-through. Shared cost allocation plans will be given to agencies and the training coming up. Is that what you had?
Not to that.
That's easy. She said, go back. Did you think thank you? Oh, sorry. That's it. Okay.
It's animated.
Okay, Demetrius and Demetrius.
Is Dorian in the room? How about Isabel? With him, send him. So Demetrius is not in the room today. Because he's working weekend. But I just wanted to introduce the room to 3 of our newest staff on the children's services team. We have Dorian, who's standing right here in the middle, right here. He's going to wave his hand like he just doesn't care for the other trigger. We have Isabel, who's on the other pretty much visiting everybody she does. And Demetrius is waving his hands because he does care, but he's working with our data. But I just wanted to highlight that we do have 3 new support service coordinators on our teams. In the event that you guys are getting emails from these folks, it's not spam, it's not a joke. They are new to our team, and we hope that you welcome them as much as we have welcomed them to the team. I'm ecstatic to have you guys join us. So I intentionally crossed out first day because it's not their first. It's not their first day, but this might be their first BDP. So we just wanted to again applaud our new hires who have joined us. Demetrius is under our data team. We're so sorry that this box is here. We're trying to figure out how to move. You can slide it up.
No, it's not on my screen. Look at. I have to change the setting.
It's weird. Demetrius, as we mentioned, is a member of our data team. So he reports directly to Jocelyn Buchanan, who's our supervisor.
as well as Craig Finley, who is the assistant director. And again, Dorian and Isabel are joining our quality team under the direction of Catherine Soto, who's the assistant director of quality. Catherine is not here today, but you guys have seen her, be it in person or via email. Everything related to PD, quality, workforce supports, et cetera. We have a whole team that does a great job, small yet mighty team, our quality team, who is supporting this work. So again, if you're getting email communications from Demetrius or Dorian or Isabel, please don't mark it as spam. Please don't say, oh, no, this is a lie. If you ever in doubt, please reach out. But these folks are new to our team. We just want to make sure that you welcome them. Can you give them a round of applause for that? And if they come up, that. I can deal with everybody. And I need you to get ready because when we have our offset, we're slagging me up again, okay? So that's the price, okay? Next slide. Is Maria Gonzalez in the room? This is Maria's very last PD meeting as an employee of the city of Chicago. Maria has been with the city of Chicago for a good amount of years. I did that intentionally because she's like, I've been here, that's what we need to do, right? But enough years of service where she can gladly and happily count down on the days, hours, and minutes because her last day with us will be June 30th of this month. We have worked across many contents across our division. She is currently on Team D as in David, supporting education disabilities. I just wanted to make you guys aware that Maria will be transitioning. We will miss her. We wanted to give you your flowers in many ways. This is just one subtle way. So without dropping too much information. But we wanted to applaud you, Maria, and thank you for your service, your support, your laughter, your candor, et cetera, et cetera. And we could not have an EDP meeting, your last one, without acknowledging you. So thank you for agreeing to do so. And it's okay. Sometimes we don't like to be, put out there, but I appreciate, you allowing me to give you your flowers in this way. So can you give her another round of applause? So this box is blocking it, but Raven Whitehead is the Assistant Director over Program Operations. Camille Franklin is over Team D. We collectively will be working to fill that gap for education disabilities on that team until we designate a replacement for Maria, which will be, she has tiny feet, but that's really big shoes. Just because of her knowledge and all of her expertise that will be leaving once she gladly retired. So again, we just wanted to make you guys aware that transition is happening, and we will work with all of the agencies that Maria has been working with to ensure that we have a smooth transition. Are there any questions related to that? Great. This is my stand slide. See, they're going, that's up here. It's like secondary to Christmas and my birthday. Well, that's this third. But this is my little so it's pre-service season. We are currently planning for our pre-service event, which is scheduled for August 4th, 5th, and 6th. We have registration that has been circulating in our CSB update. How many in this room have registered for pre-service? Really? How many of you plan to register for pre-service? Wonderful. Those of you who have registered, have you received any additional information relating to pre-service? Not yet, right? Okay, it's all right. You have been counted. We have a great magnitude here for those that we fund here in the city of Chicago, FSS. So registration is still open. So therefore you haven't received anything intentionally, because what we have to do is sometimes we get registrations because our information goes widely. Sometimes we get registration for folks who have no affiliation with the city of Chicago, no affiliation with anyone. It could just be a random person and no shade to those random people. But this event is specific to those who are funded by Children's Services, DFSS. So we are intentionally collecting all registrations. We have to comb through them to ensure that you should be a part of the event. And then once we go through that process, you will then start receiving additional communications as you've done with the previous pre-service events, which will say, thank you for registering. This is, session. Let's introduce you to, I don't know if that's the voice in my mind. That's the, I don't know why it has to sound like, game show, but in my mind, it goes something like that. But it'll give you additional guidance. It'll also give you information about what to know before you go, parking information, things of that nature. So none of that has happened yet. You have not missed anything. If you have any questions related to the pre-service event, you are welcome to reach out to myself, Sheree Johnson, first name, last name, at cityofchicago.org, or Catherine Soder. Okay, so those are your 2 points of contact related to pre-service, but it's going to be an awesome event. We're excited. And is there anyone in this room who is planning to come to our pre-service, but it's your first time? It's going to be great. Don't be surprised if you see. Okay, it's clearly, I love you. Right, but sometimes, my deputy want to get on my too. I'm definitely, of course, she's gonna get on like she our deputy, right? And we have other deputies who are also joining us on this bill. So we're excited about this service. We hope to see you there. Again, if you have any questions, please reach out to myself or Catherine Soto. I think that's okay. Turning over comments. Thank you, everyone. Great, yeah. Section. All right, good morning, everyone. I'm Sharon Davis. I'm the Director of Accounting in our Finance Division. I'm going our Finance Service for So for our federal program, served by 26, our Head Start program is at 54% expended. Our early Head Start is at 53% expended. Our CCP program is at 54%, and our expansion program is at 36%. These numbers are kind of low, but as the Commissioner stated earlier, Deputy Commissioner stated earlier, the Head Start early Head CCP programs will be extended, so we will see those numbers coming out still. And so as far as state programs for FY26, these are ending June 30th. Our ECDG program is at 68% expended, and our CCAP program is at 48% expended. And here is a few notes. So for federal programs, as stated earlier, the programs will be extended for the Head Start, Early Head Start, and CCP programs. So these will be extended. The full budget period will be the 13 months. And so they will be from December 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2026. And so we plan to be able to get you guys out the revised allocation sheets by Monday. Thank you all so much for your patience. We have been waiting for the notice of award, and so far we still do not have the notice of award or the grant funding, but we do have enough information to be able to roll out to you to the next. And so for now, we will get you your revised allocation sheets so that you can at least start preparing your budget revisions. If you have any questions, to reach out, let us know. And also, because your budgets will be extending, and there will be a small COLA, 0.06% COLA. It's very small, but it will be an increase. Your budgets will be prorated over that 13-month period, so the funding will be increased. And so, because your funding is increasing, your non-federal match in kind will also increase as well. It will be 33% of your new totals. And so we will have that information go out to you next week. If you have any questions, let us know. And Your in-kind reports are still due by the 10th of each month. So let us know if you have any issues with those. Now, for your expansion program, it will not be extended. It's already at 12 months. It's going to remain at 12 months. But it will also receive a 0.06% COLA increase as well. Therefore, you will have to revise those budgets for those of you who have the expansion program. So we will send you your allocation sheets as well as your increase for your non-federal match income. It will be listed on your revised allocation sheets as well. Thank you. So for your child care program, we're asking that you will get all of your billings in for this year, January through April. We're trying to get all of those billings in by June 19th, that is tomorrow. Now, your May billing, your deadline is Monday, June 22nd. Your June billing deadline is July 15th. Please verify that all of your eligibility, your applications, your redeterminations, and your certificate of insurance records for approval. If you have any unresolved billing issues, please contact us. That is Selena Luan, myself, Sharina Davis, and Zachary Colon. Now for the PI and PFA program, your budget revisions and deadline has passed. We are no longer receiving budget revisions for the PI and PFA program. Those that we are currently reviewing, we will get those processed and follow with you as soon as possible. At this point, we're expecting that your invoicing through May 31st should have been submitted at this time. But if we have given you notice to hold off on your invoicing, you will be able to resume that invoicing as soon as your budget revisions are approved. You can watch our suppliers to get the notice, but we will send you out the notice as well. The final invoicing deadline is July 17th. This includes all invoices, resubmissions, and rejected invoices, deletion calls, everything. But you cannot submit 2025 invoices. That calendar year is closed. And supplier updates. Please continue attending the iSupplier training each month. The next one is July 14th at 2 p.m. Please make sure that your insurance is updated. Next week, our team is going to be getting training for COI. And once we get that training from COI, we will be able to better assist you guys with your COI questions and issues. So as soon as we get trained, we will train you. So keep your iSupplier contacts updated as well. This is for everyone. All federal and state programs. Keep your iSupplier contacts updated so we can reach out to you as soon as possible. And also continue to submit your invoices monthly. That will reduce the need for a rush at the end when there is a deadline. And the systems can be very slow, close to the deadline. So you want to get your invoices in as soon as possible. Now, finally, our contacts for the finance team. So our supervisor of the county, Carlos Pedante. The Head Start and Early Head Start accountant is Teresa Lopez. The CCT Expansion and Corporate RTO accountant is Laverne Coleman. Child Care accountant is Selena Luan. And the PIPFA accountant is Cassandra Moon. Thank you. Anyone have any questions for me? Thank you so much and have a great day. So I'm on purpose talking slowly. Because what we forget, what? Did you hear what I was saying? I can say it right, right. Let me back it up. What we had forgot to mention is that as we are gearing up for summer, the Rachel mentioned that it's play date season, right? So we have one event, we're planning for the next play date, just recapping what we talked about today. The next play date being on Saturday, the 27th of June in Humble Park. But we've also been working collaboratively with our marketing vendor to ensure that programs, quality programs throughout the city of Chicago, specifically those of you, so all of you, being a part of Chicago Urban Learning, receive additional information, that your information is blasted to the public. One of the things that we recently rolled out is a Chicago Early Learning show, right? So, we have a CEL commercial that has gone live. I'm going to read the blurb for you, just so you guys can have additional information. While we're trying to get to open the standards, we're going to show you the commercial here today. I'm going to give some information on where you can see the commercial, where folks are already seeing the commercial, and so you may also see this commercial live in your communities. So I'm looking for there. Boom, skip. And I apologize. It should have been on a slide today and it escaped me. So with our Chicago Early Learning commercial, I'm reading this verbatim, okay? We're excited to share that the Chicago Early Learning commercial is live, and it is on all Chicago Early Learning social media pages, as well as in AMC theaters through July, right? Specifically, the CEO commercial can be viewed at the following theaters in Chicago. Does anyone in here visit the Hartford Theater in Hyde Park? Haven't been there. Haven't been there. So you go for previews, because if you like, you see better than me. But sometimes about today's 15 minutes of previews, I guess. If you want to see these commercials, you have to listen to previews, because we'll be playing this commercial during the preview. So Hartford Theater is on 52nd